Hey everybody, Lucian here. I am your exercise trainer at the University of Vermont Medical Center with the Oncology Rehab Program Steps to Wellness. Today we're going to take you through some of your Steps to Wellness resistance exercises and we're going to mix them together for a nice full body circuit, okay? So clear your space, get ready, we're going to get to work. All right, today's workout consists of 4 different exercises. We're going to give you variations for each one of them. We're going to go through each exercise 2 separate times for 10 repetitions each, okay? So the first one is going to be what we call triple extension. It is a variation of your squat and your sit to stand. So we're going to start off, I'm going to show you the sit to stand version and then we're going to progress to the squat version, okay? So find your seat. If you have a chair, you want to sit in a nice flat chair or maybe a bench, something similar to this. Remember, we're going to talk about our positioning before we start to move. So feet about shoulder width apart. Checking on my heels, they should be underneath my knees. We're standing up nice and tall. I'm going to inhale and I'm going to exhale and squeeze that belly so my back is nice and flat. For this one, I want you to stick your hands out front, pull your shoulders down into place, thumbs can face up. Remember, when we go into our squat, we're going to lean forward, get that pressure on our quads and our heels, and we're going to drive up, squeeze the glutes at the top, okay? When we get to the top, we're going to raise those hands up nice and high and get on the tip of those toes, and we're going to slowly lower and then get back, all right? So find that ready position. We're going 10 reps here in 3, 2, and 1. Big reach, hips back, and then slowly down. That's 1, 2. I'm going to inhale as I come down. I'm going to exhale as I come up. 3. Nice and soft as we come down onto the heels and as we come down onto the bench or the seat. And here's our 5. Give yourself a quick check-in with those shoulders. Make sure when you're bringing them down that they're away from the ears. We're at 7, 8. Press through those tip of the 2 big toes. 9. 1 more. And 10. All right, shake it out. Good. So that is your sit to stand version. We're going to stay standing for the second set if you can. If not, that's okay. You can stay seated and go work from the bottom up. For this one, we're going to work top down. So for this one, I'll give you a side angle first. We're going to get in that good standing position. So feet shoulder width apart, toes forward, belly and butt tight. This time we're going to keep our hands down by our side and my palms are going to be facing away, thumbs facing me, okay? This time when I come down, I'm going to reach behind like I'm trying to grab the baton in a race or like someone's behind me and trying to give them a good high five, right? And as you come up, same thing, big reach. And watch your balance, because if you don't, that's what happens. Okay, so as you reach up, press through those 2 big toes, arms straight up, and then we come right back into that squat, okay? The goal for our squat is to let our butt touch the chair, okay? So, get yourself ready. Make sure the chair is pretty close behind it. We're looking about 4 to 6 inches between the back of my leg and the chair, just to make sure I have a good support. Feet shoulder width apart, toes forward, glutes engaged, belly engaged, thumbs facing us. We inhale, lower, big reach behind, touch that butt, exhale, big stand up, reach, like we're trying to get those biceps in between those ears. Inhale it down, exhale it up for 2. Let's see if you can keep this pace. 3, 4, 5. Inhale down, exhale up. 6. Remember, 2 big toes are what we're pressing into the floor for 7. Chest up nice and high. 8, 9, and last one, big breath out, big reach, 10, whew, and shake it out. All right, that's our first exercise. On to the next one. All right, exercise number 2 is push-ups with a shoulder tap. So what are we doing here? We're gonna lower down to the wall or similar surface. We're gonna exhale, press, then we're gonna reach that hand and tap, tap, and then press again. So we're creating a little bit of instability, forcing that one side to work a little bit harder, okay? So we really wanna make sure that when we're pressing out here, that we're engaging our chest, our shoulders, our back, our belly is nice and tight. We're gonna show you 2 options today. We're gonna start with the wall version. So remember, with our wall version, hands should be about shoulder height from the ground. So essentially just reaching out right in front of you. If you go a little bit lower, it's gonna force a little bit more wrist extension, so it might be a little more sensitive. If you're finding that, raise it up a little bit higher, okay? Remember, our resistance for this gets harder the farther we step away from the wall. So I'm gonna place my hands, I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades in place, I'm gonna make sure my belly and my glutes are engaged, and I'm gonna slowly step back until I find a good position for me. Remember, we're trying to keep that straight line, shoulders to hips to heels the entire time. Find your ready position. We'll lower down in 3, 2, and 1. Exhale up. Right hand comes up, taps the left shoulder. Left hand comes up, taps the right shoulder. Inhale down. Exhale up. Notice how my body's not moving at all. Sometimes if you're not engaging that core, your belly, then you might get a little bit of wobble like this, okay? We're trying to stay nice and straight, just like we're in a plank position. I'm gonna turn my head around. Maybe I can get a little bit lower. There we go. Keep that belly engaged. I think we're at 5. Tap, tap, squeeze. Tap, lower down. I believe this is our 8. Lower, inhale, exhale, press 9. 1 more. And there's our 10. When we're finished, simply step forward. Whew. Okay, so main areas that you feel it here and here in those shoulders. Lots of shoulder and upper body work. But of course, again, we're gonna keep that belly nice and tight. So if we wanna make it harder, well, we're gonna increase the angle of our body. So you see I have a nice big box right here. If you're at home, you can use something like a tabletop or a counter. If you're using a table, it's not mounted to the wall. Make sure it's nice and sturdy and it's not gonna move on you, okay? You notice this is right here. I know this is nice and sturdy, big heavy box, okay? So we're gonna start off nice and close to your surface. We're gonna place our hand, engaging here before we step back. So I'm set my shoulders into place, I engage here, and then I slowly step back until I have that straight line in my body. And if I wanna make it harder, I step back there, but I don't today. I wanna make this doable, okay? Same thing. We have that straight line, shoulders, hips to heels, all right? Set the shoulders in place, squeeze the belly, squeeze the butt. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale up. I'm gonna tap, tap. There's our 1. Inhale down, exhale up, tap, tap. Notice how the body's not moving side to side. My breath is linking with my movement. Take a quick check-in with your ears. Make sure those shoulders aren't sneaking up on them. There's our 5, we're halfway there. Tap, tap. Quick check-in with the belly. Make sure the hips aren't sagging. There's our 7. There is our 8. Tap, tap. There's our 9. Final rep, inhale it down, exhale it up, squeeze, tap, squeeze, tap. There's our 10, step forward, stand up tall. There's your shoulder tap, push-ups. All right, on to our next exercise. Now we're gonna do a movement, what we call a good morning, okay? So to set us up for this, we're gonna bring those feet in underneath the hips. Toes are gonna be facing forward. The main places you're gonna feel it are here and here, okay? So abdominals, a little bit of posterior chain, and those that mid back and those hamstrings, okay? Things you need to be aware of when you do this, you have to have that small pelvic tilt in place. That means our abdominals are really engaged and my glutes are engaged the entire time, okay? So I'm gonna correct my posture real quick. So I'm gonna do a small pelvic tilt. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly, good. And now my hands come down by my side, palms facing in. From here, I have a small bend in my knees. Everything is tight. I'm simply gonna push my hips back and say goodnight, right? So my chest goes forward. I feel that stretch in my hamstrings. And when I feel that, okay, I'm good. And I'm gonna use my hips and my glutes to drive me forward and say good morning. So it's a nice, slow, controlled action. Good night, good morning. Remember, when you're coming up to good morning, that you're really using the glutes and the hips and the belly to get you home, okay? So, get in your ready position. Again, feet underneath the hips, toes forward, glutes engaged. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly. Hands stay down by my side the entire time. I'm gonna inhale, lower, push those hips back, keeping a straight back. Exhale, come up, and there's our one. Slow down, inhale down, exhale up, and two. So if you looked at me from the side, you would notice that my back is staying flat the entire time. Three, always have that small bend in my knee. Exhale up for four. Inhale it down. Exhale up for five. Only go down as comfortable as you are. Never six past your hips. Inhale down. Exhale up. Seven. Keep that belly tight. Keep the glutes tight. Come up. Eight. There's nine. Let's get one more. And there is 10. Whew. All right, shake it out. Lots of engagement on that movement, right? Lots of engagement. If you haven't stretched your hamstrings out in a while, you might feel a little extra stretch in there, and that might actually inhibit how far down you can bring that chest, and that's okay. That just means you need to stretch your hamstrings a little bit more. As long as everything is engaged, working together, you're good to go. Now, if that wasn't comfortable for you and you want to do a seated option, you can. The seated option will look just like this. We're going to get into that regular sit to stand position. This time I'm going to put my hands here because that's going to help. And then I'll simply say good night. And then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good morning. Okay. So we'll do the second set seated. Give ourselves a little bit of a rest. Okay. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the shoulders into place. We're going to say inhale it down. Exhale it up for one. Keeping that back nice and flat. Inhale down. Exhale it up. Two. Again, if you looked at me from the side, exhale it up. Three. You're going to see nice, flat back. Exhale up. Four. Inhale it down. Exhale it up. Five. Keep it tight. Quick checking with the belly. Quick checking with the shoulders. Six. Length that breath. Exhale for seven. Inhale it down. Exhale it up for eight. Two more. Stay tight. Exhale, 9. One more option. Exhale, and 10. Whew, okay, there's our 10. So, we've done the 2 feet, we've done the seated version. If you want to have a little extra balance practice when we're done, there's always the option to do a single leg version of this, and this is for those people that have really good balance. You've hit your full 60 seconds on that single leg stance. You're really comfortable with that, and you're looking for ways to progress that balance. If you've done all those things, this next one is for you. If you're not there yet, let's not try this option, okay? When I do try this option, I'm gonna have a surface next to me, just in case, for extra balance, okay? I'm only gonna do a couple right now, but I wanted to show you. This is a single leg version, okay? So, I'm gonna take one leg up, like I'm doing a hamstring curl. So if you look at me from the side, this is what it's gonna look like. Now I'm gonna go through that same process. So feet underneath the hips, toes forward, pelvic tilt, belly tight, shoulders pulled down and back. And now I'm gonna just do the same thing with everything tight, small bend in that stabilizing knee. I'm gonna come forward, I have my safety piece there, and I'm gonna let the glutes and the hips drive me back forward, keeping that leg curled the entire time. If I need to, I have that surface here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And I'll give you one more for good measure. And exhale it up. Boom. Again, you always have something there to help you. And you might notice that when you do these, maybe you only get to here because of balance issues, and that's okay. So things to think about, remember, always having an eye on something still and static, so that way your eyes don't waver and you have the good focus, okay? Again, this is for those of you that have done your full 60-second single leg stance and are looking for ways to progress your balance exercises. All right, last exercise of the day is our reverse crunch, okay? So you're gonna wanna get a chair. I don't have a chair here, so what I've done is I've improvised, because that's what we do, and we don't have the equipment that we want. So I put a bench, and I've got a bar coming across. This is gonna give me my back support, okay? This is like my touch and go point. You're gonna use the back of your chair as your touch and go point. I'm gonna take my seat. The first set I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do them pretty close, because I'm not entirely sure how far back I can actually manage while keeping my back nice and straight, okay? So if you think about this being my hips, this being my upper torso, we're gonna keep that back nice and flat. And we're gonna open it up, touch the back of the chair, and then right back to that neutral position, okay? All the time, I'm gonna keep my feet on the floor. And notice the farther you get back, the harder that's going to become, okay? So, good stable position with the feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. I'm gonna inhale, exhale, squeeze my belly, and then give myself a nice big hug. My back is flat, my belly is tight, okay? Things you wanna think about, not having too much motion in the neck. So I'm gonna do my best to keep a nice straight cervical spine as I go through this. That means as I lower, my gaze is gonna go higher, okay? So find your ready position. Again, inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly, pull the shoulders into place, and we're gonna slowly lower down till either our feet come up or we touch and back up, and that is 1, 2, squeeze, 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 exhale for 3, and notice I don't have a lot of motion this time, 4, and that's okay, I'm still feeling it in my belly, 5, things to think about, don't let the bounce happen, so we don't wanna, 6, none of that. And you certainly don't want to lose control. So if you're at a point, we're at 7 right now, where you are feeling like you can't go back and touch the back of that chair, 8, that means you need to scoot your bottom closer to the back of the chair. 9, 1 more, keep it flat, keep it tight, and 10. Whew. Okay, so you should have felt it all here that time, all there, all right? So if that was too easy, scooch forward a little bit. Remember, you gotta keep your feet on the floor though, okay? Some of that's gonna be dictated by how low your chair is to the ground or your height, how tall or short you are. I'm pretty short, so even just having this bench here makes it pretty challenging to keep my feet on the floor and control as I get farther away from that back, okay? All right, last set of the day. Inhale, exhale, squeeze that belly, make that X, and slowly lower down, keep that back nice and flat. And there's our 1, found the point. 2, make sure you're not holding that breath. 3, 4, keep that back flat. Don't let the back round. 5, halfway there. 6, 7, 8, almost there, 9, last 1, there's a 10.
You got this.
All right, there are your 4 exercises with multiple levels of variations for each one to make it either a little bit harder or adjust to the level that's just perfect for you, okay? We went through that once. If you feel like you have some more energy, you got some more juice, maybe go through it again, all right? So rewind the tape and restart. If you wanted to get really get sweaty, get hot, work those muscles, maybe go through it 3 times. But that's a lot of reps, no more than that, and make sure you're giving yourself adequate rest time in between each stop and go, all right? Thanks for your exercise, I'll see you next time.